Hey, welcome back to Thursdays with Culture Talk. It's Teresa and Cynthia, and you'll
Yes.
see we have a new face with us today. We are excited to welcome Leslie Kendall as our guest. Leslie is the owner of Kendall and Associates, and we are proud to call her a Culture Talk certified partner. She owns a business that is focused on organizational development, and she has been really diving into this work with teams and helping people to understand what's happening around their own ability to integrate archetypes into their thinking and the development of themselves personally, as well as bringing that out a level to how they work together and how they learn and grow through the use of this material. So I'm excited to sort of dig in a little bit, Leslie, and share with our viewers some of your experiences. So I'm wondering if you could tell us, I know you're in the middle of an engagement, maybe tell us a little bit about that.
I'd be happy to. Thanks so much for inviting me today. I've had a wonderful experience working with a nonprofit here in upstate New York. It's a group of folks who work primarily with people with disabilities, and the organization is one of those very caring kinds of groups. We've had an opportunity to do the individual Culture Talk survey with them and surface some extremely interesting pieces of data about how the organization functions as a whole and how they're functioning in their department teams. Now, one of the things that surfaced that has been really exciting is to watch how the teams have been able to take their archetypal behaviors and align those with the kind of work that they're doing. They're such a service-oriented organization, and their passion for the client has come through very clearly in the kind of scores and data that we've seen in terms of their caregiver archetype and a lot of the hero archetypes that are on the staff.
Yeah, those are interesting patterns when you think, like you said, about what they're doing. And have you put together a composite of the team, and tell us about that a little bit?
We have put together a composite of the organization, and we found that probably over 50% of the staff members, from the senior team to the mid-level managers to all the employees, runs about 50% with a caregiver archetype. The other archetype that shows up very strongly for this group is the hero archetype. And they really describe themselves in all of our focus groups and workshops as being problem solvers. And I think every time they work with a client, and they're working with literally dozens of clients every day, they find that each problem is presented to them as individual staff or to teams as a brand new problem. So they love taking that hero archetype and working on the problem and going right to a result and giving that off to the client. One of the other things that we found is that this group is very high in the innocent and every person archetypes. There's a powerful sense of justice and equity and fairness for the clients, and we see that in all the work that they do.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Are you seeing any patterns that aren't present in the group? Anything that?
There are some, and again, as we look at the behavior patterns, the revolutionary archetype is not present very much in this organization. The employees admit that they give and give and give so much with that caregiver archetype that I think that can be just exhausting for them.
Draining, yeah.
So really draining. So there isn't time really to be a revolutionary, to begin to try to overhaul systems or work against the system, because it's working pretty efficiently for them now.
Great. So what else other like kind of outcomes are you finding just in terms of, their personal growth or their growth as a team since they've been engaged in this thinking?
I think one of the first things that's come out in terms of their own personal and professional growth is that they know that the caregiver archetype can be very draining and overwhelming. So they've been looking at how to take care of themselves better. And I think there are going to be some kind of health and wellness initiatives at the organization. How do we just get out and just take that burden off a little bit? I think they tend to, you can't help but take on the emotion that a lot of the clients project. One of the other things that's really come out in terms of their teamwork is that the organization is under new leadership and has been for the last maybe 24 months. And there has been an increased amount of transparency that we're seeing. And that has promoted a really higher level of trust among all of the employees. And as a result of that trust, their teams, I think, are much stronger, and they're able to go right to getting the job done and enhancing their results because everything is so open and communication has really broadened.
Mm.
And last but not least, I think another huge piece that has come out is the move from being either dependent on one another for help and collaboration, or being totally independent and working in silos. And what they are doing is getting much better at being interdependent. And all of the archetypes, now that they've learned more about one another, they're much, much more in tune to the needs of each other as clients. And they're also able to project that to their own clients. So it's not just colleagues, it's clients as well. And how they're showing up with the client has changed dramatically.
Wow. Leslie, one of the things I love when I hear you talk about this client is knowing that you've come back a couple different times, right? I'm curious about the difference between kind of the first event using archetypes and then moving forward. You keep getting more juice out of it, if you will.
Exactly. I think the first time we did individual surveys with everyone, but we'd previously done kind of a trial run, frankly, with the org survey, and that was maybe 3 years ago. And there were a lot of different staff members. So we're just about to do the organizational culture assessment again in another week. And I think that will be really interesting to see how those two are aligned or not aligned under the changing attitudes and the changing leadership that we've seen. The other thing that just delights me, frankly, is the kind of enhanced knowledge and growth that I'm seeing among the individuals in the organization. And I think in terms of their ability to communicate with one another, their ability to align that vision and mission with their outcomes, that has been greatly enhanced because they've enhanced their own knowledge about archetypes.
So the self-awareness is growing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we're getting ready to do a webinar that kind of ties like how is self-awareness related to resilience? Are you experiencing, I think I'm hearing you say that yes, the more they get to know themselves and each other, the more that resilience muscle is showing up.
We have, in fact, done quite a bit of resilience work with the staff, and they're seeing themselves as more resilient, and they're seeing themselves as becoming, frankly, more cognizant of the shadow sides of some of their archetypes, and have made some commitments and declarations about how they will address those shadow sides to continue to enhance the service delivery and enhance their own growth. Another workshop that we've done with this particular client is to focus on the kind of responses that they're making to the pandemic, the global change that we're seeing, and this huge paradigm shift, which has been difficult for everybody, of course. But I think they have a tremendous sense of confidence about how they have reacted and responded to this particular global crisis, and the fact that they have been, frankly, unfailing in delivering services to their clients and continuing to try and grow themselves by learning how to learn more and to change and ratchet up their skills.
Wow.
Yeah, sounds like a really encompassing effort. So kudos to you for leading them through it. And we look forward to hearing what happens when you get that second org survey coming back soon. So
It'll be fun.
we'll have to catch up again. We'll have to do this again.
Thanks for sharing.
good.
Yeah.
My pleasure, ladies. Thank you.
So Anyway, we love talking culture with you, and we thank you for joining us again this week. We will see you again soon.
Thank you.